welcome. We're at show 179. It's probably about 350, but let's not argue about that. Show 179. I have a big boy here. He's being very noisy. He's going to jump. That's heavy. That's a heavy cat. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We're a little early, but why not begin? Good evening, people watching us live, people watching this back. And also, good evening, good day, good morrow to everybody who's listening to the podcast version of this. People here so far. We got Liam, we got Mark, Katifa, Linny, Quiet Bloke, Gatford, Euroboroughs, Debbie, Chalfont, St Giles, and Paul Dixon. And ladies and gentlemen, look who is just... Oh, I've got to change my settings. Look who is just rocking up right now. My queen, your queen, everybody's queen, Katie Boyle. Katie Bubbles. Katie Bubbles Bonbon. How you doing, kid? Got beats. There we go. Oh, they can't hear you. I'm so sorry. They can't hear you. Hang on a minute. I've got to because I've got it set for work for day work, not night work. So you should be coming out. Hold the line, please, callers. It's set for day work, not night work.
Night work.
Now speak now, Ples.
Hello, Ples, everybody.
Ples. Ladies and gentlemen, she's back in the New York Groove. You were telling a story about being called Miss.
The first kid that called me Miss. Seems to, I don't know, I've got a little fan, I think. Today he walked past in the corridor and put his head, I was already teaching the class, put his head around the door, went, "Hello, Miss."
There we go. Look at that, see?
Yeah, he's a nice kid.
He's a nice kid, you know, without breaking any confidences, of course. And I wouldn't want you to say things you're not allowed to. How has this week been? What's the general vibe for you?
The general vibe is, you know, it's...
Of course, I know because we've spoken about it, but for the casual person who's here.
The general vibe is I'm getting used to it. I'm more relaxed than I was last week, and I'm kind of in the groove of things. I think things happen now and again to make me remind me that this is something new for me. But actually, in the grand scheme of things, correct decision was made. And the kids are getting more used to each other and used to me. And, you know, a little bit of cheekiness is emerging. So it's been stamped upon. So that's where I'm at.
Good. I've had quite a few cancellations this week. So I've had plenty of... I've learned to accept the cancellations. Go, okay, well, that's a gift. It may not be a financial gift, but that's a gift. What can I do with that time? Mm-hmm. And yesterday it was... sit and be anxious. I don't really have clients on a Wednesday. Today I did some reading. I've signed up to a Beach Boys fanzine again, and they came. So I was sat there very geekily listening to some Beach Boys and reading about Beach Boys 85 and the excellent documentary, the Beach Boys America's Band, which I was obsessed with. I had it on VHS. It was how I found out that Dennis Wilson had died because I didn't know. And we went to HMV. We went, let's get this. And then we read the back, and it says, and you can see how the band handled Dennis's untimely demise. And I was devastated. So
it was like it had just happened, was it?
It was like it had just happened. I mean, it would have been, I think he died in 83, and this would have been like 89. So it wasn't that far afterwards. So yeah, that's good. Felt really, really flat yesterday. Really was struggling yesterday. Let me just get this out of the way. By the way, I'm not going to send out emails reminding people that we're doing shows. I don't think I need to, do I, Catherine? I think people get the email on a Sunday or a Monday this week. They know, don't they? They know. They don't.
I think people know.
I am so angry with myself, like literally fuming yesterday. Because I'm setting up a Patreon for my new podcast, which you can listen to for free, although I haven't uploaded any yet. Iain Lee's Random Access Memories, which is on every podcast provider apart from the one I use, Google Podcasts. But it's everywhere, so go and subscribe to that. But I'm setting up a Patreon for it. I don't quite know what to do with it. I haven't worked out the tiers. And so I've been looking at a few other Patreons, the RMC Retro. We had Neil on the other day, the computer game show, and a few others. And going, right, what are their tiers? What are their layout? Okay. And then I looked at our Patreon, the one that you are signed up to, dear viewer. Oh my God, it was a mess. It was a mess. It was built over 2 years ago when I didn't really understand how you built a Patreon. And it was a mess, an absolute car crash of just tech. It didn't make any sense. And I was so angry because I think, oh my God, in the really early days when we would have got a lot of passing trade, you know, when we used to do like the first half hour was on Twitch and then we go here, I can imagine people going to that Patreon and looking at it and going, what? Nah, forget it. And we're over 2 years into it and we're on a steady decline, a very slow decline. You know, we're not every month going, oh my God, it's like every month, oh, okay. And I'm so angry with myself that I didn't go and look at it. I didn't check it. I didn't compare it with other ones. The layout now is mwah. And I got rid of a few of the tiers. We've probably still got too many tiers, but there are people signed up, so I don't want to mess them around. Mm-hmm. Got rid of a few of the tiers. Added to the £35 tier. If you sign up to the £35 tier, you get a phone call every month from either me or Catherine. You decide who. We will withhold our numbers. We're not stupid. Catherine, I was so upset last night. I was so annoyed with it. Mm-hmm. So annoyed.
Do you even remember what I said to you about it?
You said you're an effing idiot and I'm seeing my lawyers and we're dissolving this relationship.
Not quite.
That's what you said.
Not quite. I said it doesn't matter. I said, listen, in the grand scheme of things, it does not matter. You sorted it out now. Lesson learned. We didn't know. We know now. But there's no point in punishing yourself about it. That doesn't make a difference, does it?
No, I know, but I'm really fuming. And it came at the end of the day of being very flat anyway, but I am fuming with it. So that's disappointing, but it is now. It's saying we've probably got too many tiers. It's a whole lot tidier. Too many tiers.
Too many tiers, the Iain Lee story.
Got 96 tiers. So it's done. It's up there. It's a bit tidier. Go and have a little look. Maybe you want to sign up to the £35 tier for a month, get a phone call. That's what you got to do. But so that is sorted. The patreon.com/Iain Lee is for the computer game show podcast. Haven't quite worked out what it's going to be. So I've got the three prices, but I haven't worked out what the tiers will be. Someone signed up to the £2.50 tier already and they don't know what they're going to get. I might add one of the perks of that is that they have to give me the keys to their house. And then this guy's signed up to it, can't get out of it. Idiot. So that's there. That's all looking good with the lovely logo from Scott. First video is up, me playing Minder. And Scott, we're playing Minder because we're going to record an episode where Scott talks about playing Minder and he was obsessed with it. And he watched it last night. And so about 10:30, I was getting all these messages going, oh my God, what are you doing? You don't have to pay him a ton to mind you. I never got him to mind me. Oh my God, you're waiting outside a dealer's house at 1 o'clock in the morning expecting them to be there. So I was...
you were reprimanded, it sounds like.
I was reprimanded. But already, that video, right, it's an hour and a half of me playing a really obscure game from, I don't know, 1985, I think it is. 430 views already.
You know why? Why?
Go on.
Because those geeky boys that like computers are still geeky boys that like computers.
Yeah. Oh, God, definitely.
Not just boys, but mostly, let's be honest.
Primarily in terms of this retro stuff, I think, but possibly. But I'm just refreshing to say, look at 436 views. If you want to go and have a look at it, here's the link.
My camera can't seem to settle on a colour. I'm sorry about that, everyone.
That's all right.
Like now this.
Debbie says, I would love a phone call, but I'd be too nervous. Yeah, it's just he's not. Yeah,
you can have a silent phone call. No one needs to speak.
And there's a playlist, a random access memories playlist on YouTube. So sign up to that.
Is it all Outrun?
It's only one video so far. It's only one.
No, I mean, is the playlist all Outrun? Just the tape of it.
Okay. Graham Campbell says, evening, still getting over the stress of watching you play Minder. It was very, very stressful. It was very stressful. Oh, And you know, we had the controversial, no, the controversial isn't even the right word, El Dorado ending last week. For those who
It's
missed
scandalous, actually. Scandalous.
we were watching El Dorado, and there was a scene with the old lady and the Spanish doctor, and it didn't start off great. She said it's probably too difficult for you foreigners to understand. Then she talked about the not Annika
Agatha
Rice.
Christie.
Agatha Christie.
You said Annika Rice.
I couldn't remember her name. The Agatha Christie book that we now know as 10 Little Indians, which in itself is not a great title, but most of you will know the original title had the M word in. And I thought, okay, this is, oh my God, she said it.
She said it on the BBC.
She said the M word. I had to check myself then. I worried I'd said it. At 7:15 on like a Thursday night, it would have been, or a Wednesday night. She said it. We watched it 5 times after that ended. And because we just couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe
How
it.
did that not cause a massive stink back in the day?
Because it wasn't right then.
It wasn't.
But at the end of the Minder game, which was you basically, it's a trading game. You've got to go and meet these dealers. They'll sell you. There was one guy that says, "I want to." What was it? Something like, "I've got something for you, Arthur. Cock. Do you want some cock and some balls? Yeah, ball cocks." That's how it started. But it's a trading game. You buy stuff, you sell stuff, you try and make a profit. I did so badly. At the end, you get like a message from Arthur Daly, right? And he said...
You told you to sharpen up, lad.
No, he said, you're so bad at this. I'm going to say something. Trigger warning. Why don't you try suicide? Isn't it? Isn't it? Wow.
I mean, I know different times, but still.
I met Arthur Daly.
It's supposed to be a game. It's supposed to be a bit of fun.
It's supposed to be a bit of fun. I met Arthur Daly, and when I say Arthur Daly, I met Arthur Daly. He was filming. They were filming a section for the Minder television show in Burnham Beeches, where I lived, where I was doing my Duke of Edinburgh's, and part of my Duke of Edinburgh's was to be like a volunteer with the team that work in Burnham Beeches, and so I got to be on set as they were filming. It was him. It was him and his Jag, I think, and I stood next to him, and he was in all his. I wish I had a picture of that. He was in all of his Arthur gear, and he turned to me in his very posh voice and said, "Well, it's a lovely day for cricket, isn't it?" And I was just thinking, oh my God, it's Arthur Daly.
Yeah. Or Ebenezer Scrooge, of course. Played Scrooge at one point.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. He was the young Scrooge in one of the black and whites in the Alistair Sim one, I think.
Was he? Can I show you? Speaking of, does everybody trust me? Does everybody trust me? Because, you know, I like videos on Twitter that we then go and play, that I show, and we kind of show here. Does everybody trust me? Because I'm gonna play one.
It's a loaded question.
Trust me, right? I would not do anything to harm anybody here. Okay, so just trust me on this one. Let's do this, Catherine. I'm just going to make you bigger.
Could you make me bigger still?
There we go.
Bigger still. There we are.
So here we go. So this is a clip that was posted online. They're playing a word game, right?
Oh, God.
Trust me. They're playing a word game, and it's like so you're looking at the phone, and the words appear around, the letters appear around your head, and it's an anagram, right? Mm-hmm. It's a mum playing with her daughter. Are you ready? Here we go.
Oh my God. Ginger? Oh. Hey.
That's wild, right? It's for me. It's her face when she clearly thinks, well, she says it. Oh my God.
Yeah, but you know what I found delightful?
Go on.
The daughter, it did not occur to her.
Didn't occur to her. But her face, when she's playing the game, they're smiling, there's that cute music, and it's, oh my God. Ginger? I don't know. It seemed to tie in with the El Dorado.
That really was wild, though. Going back to that was wild. That was tea time viewing. In fact, didn't they have it on twice a day? Didn't they do a Neighbours with it? I don't know.
I think they may have done a.
There was certainly an omnibus edition.
Yeah, I think they did do a lunchtime screening of that. Can I just show another little film? So I found, well, I saw a tweet about this AI program. And we've seen those things where it's like a picture of the Mona Lisa. And she's talking like that. You know,
Yeah.
we've all seen those, right? And this guy posted a video, and I thought, that's not real. That's not real. And I thought, well, I'm going to find this site, and I'm going to have a go and see if it works. And it works. Have a look at that. I've just uploaded the first video that I found in on my computer. So it's basically it's an old video of me talking about come and join the Patreon. We're doing this thing called Patreon. It's a lot of fun. I think you'll like it. So this is the video. But what you can do is you can get it to translate your words for you. But it moves your mouth to fit the words. So it changes the movement of your mouth to fit the words. And what I didn't know until I made the video, it does it with your voice as well. It does it with your voice. So this is me talking in English, doing a little video to promote the Patreon. It's from a while ago. Have a look at the mess in the background. But by running it through this filter, it's translated to Spanish. It's got my mouth moving in sync with it, and it's done the voice.
Hola a todos, aquí está Iain Lee. Solo quiero decir, si quieres obtener podcasts exclusivos, videos exclusivos, mensajes de video privados dedicados a ti o a un ser querido.
And now look, there you go. You can see there's a bit there where my hand goes past my face and it disappears because it's doing the mouth.
Ser querido o tal vez incluso a un enemigo y fragmentos escritos, por favor, regístrate en mi Patreon. Patreon.com/Iain Lee.
Watch the lips.
Es una excelente manera de apoyar lo que hago.
It's also your voice.
It's my voice. That's the wild thing. And you were saying it's not like a direct word-for-word translation. It's grammatically correct.
It's right, yeah. It's
Here we go.
right.
Y obtener un montón de cosas que no puedes conseguir en ningún otro lugar. Te agradecemos sinceramente tu apoyo en patreon.com y Iain Lee, realmente lo valoramos mucho. Mucho amor.
You see there, the hands disappear into the face.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's where it's doing the...
It's 'cause you
Mucho
can,
amor. Mantente seguro, gracias, adiós. ¿Dónde está el botón de parada en esto?
That's wild, right? By the way,
Yeah.
it costs 1 credit. I had to pay some money, but it costs 1 credit to do a video. I got 15 credits. I tried. It will only do one person on the screen at the same time, so it can't do both of us. I tried it with 2 people. TD Hall says, my job as a language teacher is over.
I know. That's exactly what I said to you, isn't it, Ian? I said,
Yeah.
what the hell were those 4 years for
Yeah.
at university?
It can do it's got like the obvious ones. You can change your accent, but I think it's got in an Indian language. I think it's Punjabi. I think maybe Pakistani. Anyway, it's got about 8 languages that you can pick. So that was allowed.
That's Pakistan saying there's no such language as Pakistani.
No, I think Punjabi is Pakistani. I think Hindi is Indian, even though they're very, very similar. Someone
about
will correct
Urdu?
me.
Urdu was-
Urdu what? But so I got 15 credits, so I'm going to be doing 15 of these things, but I don't know what to do. It was when the guy posted it, I thought it was because he said, I found this app and it does this. And I thought, oh, it's just you speaking German. You'll just speak in German. And then I found it and it's wild. And this is a crappy website. It costs me, you can do it all for free, but then to get it processed, you join a queue and there are 114,362 people ahead of me in the queue. So I paid $24 for a month's subscription. But that's what a $24 a month website can do in 5 minutes. It took 5 minutes.
Imagine if you were the head of a very wealthy and yet very evil regime.
Yep. Oh, I'd have the time of my life.
Imagine
with
the
that.
technology you might have
Yeah.
at your fingertips already.
Oh, I'd have the time of my life with that. Journalists, dissenters, any dissenters, I'd have them on TV saying good things about me. I'd have Richard Ayoade. Actually, I wouldn't go that far. But you're right. The Quiet Bloke says the thing is, this will look rubbish compared to what it will be able to do in a few years' time. Well, you
This
go
time
back
next year, when you look at how things have moved on in the space of a year.
What do you mean? Face swap.
Yeah.
Go back 3 years to face swap the jump that we've made. This is something you can pay for on the internet. So yeah, already there'll be companies that can do it perfectly, that can completely Anyway, found that very exciting. And you know, I'm kind of in two minds about AI. But I'm like 60-40. Let's say 58. No, let's say 52-48 in favor of it, because it's going to happen, and it's progress. You know, it's progress. It's the same as the spinning jenny. You know, the Luddites came in and smashed them all up, but it was inevitable that it was going to take hold. And because of the spinning jenny, we now have factory lines that don't need human beings to work on. We have all of these things. The nature of progress is people lose their jobs. I'm not saying it's necessarily right, but that's the nature of progress. Imagine we said, right, we're going to go back to before the spinning jenny. We'd be screwed, man. I see this as part of that progress.
Immediately, I can see the end of the supermodel, the influencer, because you can get them to say exactly what you want them to say. You can get them to look exactly as you want them to look, and they will not complain, and they'll not get tired, and they will never die.
Can I just say, by the way, I didn't change. I actually look that hot. I didn't change anything there. That's not a filter on my face. That's how hot I look. And if we look just over on the left-hand side behind me, can you see who's up there?
It's baby me.
It's baby Catherine. The Smile box set is up there. Now it's over here. Life moves on. Life moves. Captain Cruiser Crunch is the puppet of me up there with Catherine. So it's there. It's happening. That's what it is. That's what it is. You know. And people, you'll get radio hosts go, well, they can never replace radio hosts. They've done it on Spotify, apparently. On Spotify, you can have an AI radio host choose songs for you and do links.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, they've already automated the choices of records, right? No one thought that would ever happen. That happens now. Very few DJs get the opportunity to pick their own music for their entire show. Very few. So what difference would it make if it was a pretend person speaking in between the links? They give them like 20 seconds to introduce a record. They could do it more efficiently with a bit of AI, couldn't they?
Catherine, moving on.
Hi. Yes, hi.
What do you know? Tell me, a little pop quiz. Talk to me about what you know about Mexico.
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 Mexico lindo.
Mexico, the country.
Mexico. What do I know about Mexico? I know
Talk to me
that
about Mexico.
there was a Mexican War of Independence.
Mm-hmm.
There are indigenous people in Mexico that are used to be called Indians, but they're not.
Yep.
There are they have a very fine cuisine that will give you a very congested heart.
Great food.
They're great food, very spicy.
Great food, very spicy.
Yeah,
My nickname at school.
They use dark chocolate in their food because they believed in ancient times it had magical properties. Human sacrifices on top of the pyramids, and the location for one of the greatest films of all time, Desperado. Next.
Is that all you know?
No, I know many, many more facts about Mexico. My friend Laura married a Mexican guy.
Okay, I'm going to just pull you back a little bit. Mexico was in the news this week. Very, very big news. Did you see it?
Oh, yeah, because of the aliens.
Here we go, because of the aliens.
Have you seen how tiny they are?
Yeah, they're tiny aliens. This. Oh boy, I got
my students to write a news report about this today.
Hang on, there's Patty wailing. Look at that. She was mid-chew. It's the best picture I could have ever hoped for. Yeah.
Hi.
If we go to the likes, I'm in the media section. Yeah. Look
Name
at
this cat. Who's this cat?
It's difficult when they're sat down, but I'm gonna say Yoko.
Yeah, just because it's what she's like.
Yeah.
He actually swore swore an oath about this evidence that he's giving.
Parte de
playing games.
nuestra evolución terrestre y que después de desaparecer no hay una
He is in a court of law swearing an oath that they have found the fossilized bodies of aliens.
Yeah.
Let's just get a little bit closer. Now, Catherine.
They were found in algae mines.
Yeah.
They look a lot like the statues they used to make, but maybe the statues were of things that those people had seen.
Oh my! Of course. Geez, you're just putting it together now. Of course they were.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think they wouldn't have done tests on that? They're not going to come back and go, "Oh yeah, it's a statue." No, they will have done tests. They will have found fibre. They will have found DNA. They will have found. This guy's not going to come out and swear an oath in a court of law.
You might be loop the loop.
Excuse me?
You might be loop the loop.
What does that mean? Bearing in mind you're working with a mental health professional. I hope it doesn't mean what you think it means.
His name might be Loop the Loop. It's a French name. No,
Okay,
what
well,
I'm
you've
saying
got
is he
your
might absolutely believe in what he's saying. But he's deluded.
Are you saying he's deluded?
He might be.
Okay.
It's an option, isn't it?
So.
Do you think that's an alien?
Yeah. Yeah,
Why?
I do.
Why?
Look at it! Look at it! Does it look like a human?
Where did he get the box for it? Did it come in that?
He got someone to make the box. He got someone to make the box. The box isn't the thing. It's a nice sheet. Looks very comfortable in there. I'm going to be honest. Yes, I believe it. Yes.
Do you?
Finally. He's from like the Mexican government, isn't he?
Well, no, he's not.
Okay.
He's talking to the Mexican government.
Okay, so he's representing the Mexican government, the Mexican governmentos.
No.
And so basically the Mexican premier.
Sorry?
Your first sneeze sounded like Hercule. Your second sneeze sounded very dismissive of it's actual It's actual evidence.
If you turn that over, it will say on the back of the head, it'll say Mattel.
Mate.
Someone left ET too close to the radiator.
Mate, do you know what? I'm going to let you make a fool of yourself. Guys, can we log? It's episode 179, about 23 minutes into it.
Yeah.
When Catherine I cannot wait to play this clip when this is proved to be real. I cannot wait.
When our alien overlords come back to claim they're dead.
Oh my God, you are going to look so pathetic. Tell you what, let's leave it there because I don't want to drag this out too much.
No. You don't want to be specific about any of this, do you?
Don't want to be specific, matey, because I think middling of you.
Oh dear.
And I honestly, episode 179, 25 minutes in, this is going to get played again. This is going to be great.
Yeah.
This is going to be great.
When I was a little girl in Manchester, we used to have an Easter egg competition. You used to have to decorate an Easter egg. And one of the boys used dough to make an ET and he used the egg for its head. It looked like that.
Okay, well, maybe he was building the statue on something he'd seen.
Yeah, maybe he'd seen one. Yeah, you're right. I'd never
One
thought of
final
that.
thing I'm sure, then we're going to talk. Is I saw this, I don't know.
I've got an email that I sent to you.
Does anyone know what this animal
Good
is?
things. Yes. It's a bush baby.
Where do I get one from?
Ah, the bush.
Right, I'm going to Google.
That's what that annoying one in I like to move it, move it. That's what
Oh,
that
yeah.
annoying one is. He's Mort.
It is illegal to keep a primate in the UK without a license. You also need a license for a pig. Where do they do them at Pets at Home, do you think?
No. They do them at the zoo.
Do you remember when I was going to get pigs?
Oh, look at its little ears.
I mean, Patty would rip its head off, but bush babies for sale. Oh, on Facebook. That'd be good. Bush babies for sale on Facebook.
Oh, it's so cute.
This can't be legit, right?
I think they're allowed to keep all sorts in America. They keep hedgehogs, don't they?
Can you see? Price, please. How much? Price.
I can't see that on my.
How much
screen.
UK? How much? The comments. So this is bush baby for sale. Oh, look at those faces. Look at his tongue. Price, please. How much? Price. How much UK? How much? How much? People who write like that should not be allowed to have pets.
No, too rude. A rude.
Oh, I want one.
That is cute though.
Isn't it? I want one of those.
What would you call it?
Kate. It's a good name, isn't it?
Might get a bit confusing.
Why?
Kate, stop climbing the curtains. Kate, is this your poo-poo on the floor?
But if you stop doing it,
Then the confusion will be over.
I'm getting Facebook Marketplace, right? So you know those. Oh, Catherine's talking. Sorry,
She's falling asleep.
You
She
know
thinks you're
those
rude.
tubes we had to sell? I'm slowly starting to clear out the garage. You know those tubes we had to sell?
poster tubes.
The posters. I've got about 50 of them, right? They're taking up a bit of space. Never going to use them again. So I've put them on Facebook Marketplace free. Right, so here's
You
a
deliver.
comment. Here's a comment. Are these available? Yes. Amazing. Whereabouts are you? Let me know, as probably we'll be able to collect tomorrow. This is on Wednesday. These will be perfect for my nursery. I'm not around tomorrow, but it can be Friday. Okay, so now listen, this is the next statement. Okay, that works too. Do you mind keeping them until I can get someone to collect? They're just what I've been looking for. I replied, my pleasure.
Okay,
She said, "Thank you."
nice interaction.
So then I said, I wondered if you'd been able to sort a collector. Yeah, I was just waiting for you to say when I could collect on Friday. What? No point in that conversation. So I wrote, so this was, what time did I send this?
Did they say no point in that conversation? Or was that your thoughts?
No, I said that. Those are my thoughts. So an hour and a half ago, I said, does between 12:15 and 3 work for you? Let me ask, one moment. Hello? No, nothing. Nothing. I'm going to write, any news on collection? Because now someone else has just messaged saying, are these available? And it's like, well...
Well, say that to them. If you're not interested, I've got someone else who would like them.
Yeah.
Just add a little bit of jeopardy there.
I've got someone else interested and I'm keen to get rid of them ASAP. Get rid of them ASAP. She's read the message, guys. She's read them. I will keep
She's
you
on Facebook permanently, is she?
I will keep you up to date with the progress on the cardboard tubes, the thick cardboard tube.
The tube to do.
Graham says you should make an AI video with a bush baby speaking Portuguese. What on earth does that mean? Lonely God Dave says the aliens are real, but this can't be legit. Fear is a very, very powerful emotion. Paul Dixon says they did show x-rays, but not convinced personally. Oh, you're a doctor, are you, Paul? You may actually be a doctor. I don't know, in which case...
I don't think your doctors are useful and when you're talking about alien life, either, are they? Why are we expecting them to be in any way biologically similar?
They did save E.T.'s life.
They nearly killed him.
They
didn't save his life.
They
They didn't
did.
save his life. Elliot saved his life. Because they were connected life force wise, weren't they?
I've only ever seen it on a bad Betamax
Well,
bootleg.
then you missed the point,
pirate,
mate.
not bootleg,
You missed the
pirate. Yeah,
point.
I've not seen it properly. Dave Dogface reminds us that Nothing Is Real, the Beatles podcast. They're doing a show in London. It's almost sold out. Catherine, we're going. So you don't have to pretend. Just yawn. Just yawn.
I don't need
Tuesday,
to
I think it's Tuesday, November the 15th. No show tomorrow, dear viewer, because we're off to see Ruby Wax. And in October, we're having at least 1 week off, maybe 2. I'm definitely taking 2 weeks off from the day job, which when I made that decision, it's like, oh, I'll take 1 off. Maybe I'll take 1.5 off. And then when I made the decision, I'm taking 2 weeks off from the day job. Oh, I could breathe. Feels so good. And this is new for me, Catherine.
Yeah.
I had to be told to take holidays.
Yeah. But otherwise, it's relentless. And that day job is mentally heavy. Heavy.
Yeah, it's a tough old week this week. But again, floored, OOR, how much trust people put in me in terms of the stuff. You know, what a privilege it is to have people tell me stuff they have never told anyone else. And, you know, that is, I will never, the day the day I don't recognize that as a privilege is the day I need to knock it on the head, because I'm blown away that people share this stuff quite often in the first session, you know, because they've been waiting to say it. However, it is exhausting.
Yeah.
It is exhausting.
Also astonishing that human beings can function carrying that stuff around with them every day, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People.
Yeah. The ADHD course, week 2 of 5. And what is interesting, so I run this ADHD course, 10 people, sold out, second time we've done it. Is I got this big old list. This one was to talk about traits, and it's a big old list of about 30 things. But what I find I want to work with groups. I want to do group therapy. That's where I want to go, because what happens is after the initial nerves that people may have, or, you know, being good, everyone's good mannered, but that good manners of I'm not going to speak up, I'm going to let someone else speak. The group takes on its own, it becomes amorphous and becomes its own thing that to a certain extent doesn't even need me. I kind of flick it at the start to send it off, and I will kind of just step in and make sure everyone gets a chance to speak. But otherwise, it does its own thing. And what's really interesting, it's the second time I've done it, completely different to the first time. A completely different experience. Sorry, and that's an update. I'll give you the update on that in a second. Completely different to how it was last time. I want to do group therapy, man. That's where I want to be, I think.
The way you're talking reminds me of my classes this week. So the sixth formers have all been given a project to do, and once you've explained it to them, it's like getting one of those little toys and winding it up.
Yeah.
And off they go.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what they come back with. And sometimes they'll show me bits and pieces that they've done, and you think, my goodness, each one of those people received that message slightly differently. And all my job is, it's a bit like when I used to produce the radio, is to suggest maybe just a little tweak that could make it really sing. But it's all there. And those kids are amazing. Those kids are actually amazing. And already with my lower sixth formers, there are a couple who I can see being just brilliant. Just brilliant. You know, the sort of kids who in a radio studio or in a radio newsroom become the safe pair of hands really, really quickly, and you forget how young they are. There's a couple like that who are just really, really talented. And there are a lot of them who are just like so keen, and they take it all in. They're really enthusiastic. It's a really nice environment to be in when you've come out of the end of quite a long career and thought, yeah, I think I've done everything I need to do there, which is the sort of situation I was in. So yeah, hanging out with those kids is just, I know it's a cliche, but they teach me loads every day as well. So yeah, that's amazing about groups, isn't it? About how each one of my classes most of them. The lower six all have the same project to do, even though they're doing different kind of specialisms, and the upper six do as well. But each group handles it differently, and each group has got its own character.
Mm-hmm. I love it. It's fun. It is fascinating, like you say.
And it's just that little, every now and again, a little nudge, and off they go again.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I'm going to look into group therapy. She's coming to collect the tubes tomorrow at 12:30. That's why I was typing. I was listening, but those tubes will be gone. I need to make sure I take out all of some of them have got posters in from when we were going to send them off. So I need to, because there's nothing, there can't be anything sadder than collecting a load of tubes and 20 of them have got posters in that were never sold. So I must get rid of
for gigs that were never done.
For gigs that were never done. But the beginning of the garage tidy up starts. It's only a small thing, but significant. I'm also buying, I've ordered a few different sizes plastic crates from eBay, because I got these big plastic crates and they're just loaded to the point where you can't carry them, because I've just filled them up, and there's some with magazines, some with CDs. You just can't carry them. So I'm going to get some smaller ones and test the optimum size for CDs.
I always make that mistake. I always think, I'll buy the big one to fit everything in.
No.
And then once they're all in, you can't move it.
Can't move it. And they're all battered. So I've got these big, they're like 50 litres, maybe 75 litres, I don't know. So I've ordered a couple of different sizes. I'm going to find the optimum size for... Liam says, I've been sat here watching the starting soon for half an hour. I didn't refresh.
Oh, Liam.
Liam. We ain't doing it again, buddy. I'm going to find the optimum size. And then I'm going to start clearing stuff out. I'm loving it.
I put a great big bag of clothes in the charity bin in the supermarket car park just now. Feels so good. I'm ready to do another one.
I've been on Vinted. Oh, I great. So I got a shirt on Vinted, XL, got it for with including postage, £4.50. Arrived, it was an L. Money back, got to keep the shirt. It's a good shirt. It's a little bit tight. If I breathe in, I can just about manage it. Also, more importantly, years ago, I had my favourite shirt. It was from Gap. It was thin. It was checked, of course, as they often are. And it was my favourite. And I wore it and I wore it and I wore it until it was too thin. It got thin and buttons came off and it was thin. And I got rid of it and I was so upset. And I was on Vinted, flicking through. I go for XL shirts, Gap. Oh my God, that
is that you? Is that you, old friend?
I thought it looks a bit like it, but it can't. And again, it was £1.50. I love that. £3.50 with postage. I love that. It's the shirt. It's my favourite shirt. It's about 15 years old. It's my favourite shirt. And I'll probably wear it next week and you'll go, oh, there's nothing special. But to me, I loved that shirt. And I came and I was so excited. I was wearing it today, but I've taken it off because I think I can get away with wearing it again tomorrow. Because I've got a new deodorant. This is what a boring show. I've not been able to find a deodorant for a while that sticks. Doesn't take. And
well, it's been hot as well, so it's all been
yeah, but it doesn't. None of them take. So I've gone back to Mitchum.
Mitchum's always a classic.
Mitchum's doing it. Debbie says, I like your spotted shirt you used to wear. I chucked it away because it shrank a little bit. It was a little bit too tight when it came anyway. Then the next wash is up, so that one is gone.
I bought one of those stick deodorants for the first time in years, but it was probably a mistake to do it while it was still hot because it was just it's unpleasant, isn't it? But actually now it's getting a bit cooler. Absolutely spot on. It's one of those wild deodorants which I'd resisted because I don't like the advertising. Think they're rude, but it's actually quite good. So there's the deodorant update, everyone.
Well, that's the deodorant update. We'd love to get your feedback, guys.
And let me just check. Still working.
Yes. So just a reminder, we're not doing a show tomorrow night. Katie says, I've also bought a duplicate shirt on Vinted this week too. Well, Vinted is awesome.
I think it's brilliant.
I've just got this. So we're not doing a show tomorrow. And in October, we're definitely taking 1 week off. How would you guys feel if we took 2 weeks off? Would you feel jibbed? Be completely honest, because I'm really starting to get aware as I'm setting up this other Patreon that we give, and David Turner's always, he says, you're giving them so much. You could give them this. David, when he comes in, you criticize. You could give them significant. You could produce, not give them. That sounds rude. Sorry. You could produce significantly less, and you would still get the key number of people that you've got. So if we took 2 weeks off, Would you consider that a jibbing? Would that be an unsubbing event for you? Anyway, I've definitely taken a week off. And then I was going to say something else, and I've forgotten what I was going to say. I had something else to say, and I've forgotten it.
Deodorant, shirt, vintage.
Oh, I'm getting a nice Nicole. I keep looking for that Nicole Fari green jacket. Keep looking for it. Keep looking for it. I had this beautiful green Nicole Fari, sort of like slightly military-esque jacket, and I loved it. And I left it behind when I was doing Iain Lee versus Radio. I left it at a venue. I never got it back. And I keep looking on eBay and keep looking on Vinted, and so far no good. But I have seen another Nicole Fari jacket that I bought for $11.50. We'll see. I'm going to get rid of a couple of jackets. I'm gonna pare things down, paring things down, as well as buying back everything that I've given away in my life, to the point where I've got the spends, right? I've got the spends, but I'm doing really well not indulging it. But boy, oh boy, I've got the spends, to the point where I think I'm going to buy a box set of all 6 seasons of Lost, because I'd like to own it, and I'd like to get really into. I really want to rewatch it, and I know it's on Prime, but I really want to rewatch it, and I want to watch the extras. You can yawn, just yawn.
I did.
Yeah, it was rude.
I'm so skint, and I don't get paid till the end of the month. And when I keep fantasizing about what, I'm going to treat myself, and you know what's going to happen at the end of the month. When I've got the money, I won't want anything. Why does everything look really, really, really good when you can't afford it? And then when you can, you get really choosy.
The Lost box set of 6 seasons, it's about 14 quid. About 14 quid. So I think I
thought they used to be pricey.
They did used to be pricey, but everyone bought Lost box set, got to the last episode and went, I'm taking this in, and handed them in. So so that's plan. I was getting involved in a Japanese bidding. You have this thing called proxy bidding. It's really hard to buy stuff on. You can't buy stuff on Japanese eBay or Japanese Yahoo auctions or anything. So you do this proxy thing where you get a company and you deposit like 200 quid in the account, and then you buy stuff and they keep it for you.
They fill up a box, right?
They fill up a box, and I started getting involved in that because they had this box set that's worth about $500, and they had it for 90 quid. But I was able to back away. I deposited £200, saw what it did to my bank statement, and I went, no, and managed to get £190 back. So that was good. So I've got the spends, but I'm being really careful. But I am finding myself things I've been looking up on eBay this week. Frank Sidebottom, Lost, ZX Spectrums of different colours, and there's one that's anyway. Green jackets. BBC micro joysticks, all kinds of things like that.
Whereas in my head, it's and this sort of tells you where I'm at in my life and in terms of my new job, and also just like my desire for comfort. All I can think about are Birkenstock Bostons. I've been wearing my Birkenstocks all summer, the open-toed ones, and I want a pair of closed-toed Birkenstock Bostons. That's what I want.
I used to have some Birkenstocks. They were so comfortable.
They're really comfy. They're ugly as hell, aren't they? But they're so comfortable. And actually, I think they've got a strange beauty about them. I
am tempted because I am now. I bought slip-on shoes last year for the first time. Oh my God. I'm tempted.
What's happened to us? I think all of us during lockdown went for comfy shoes, right?
Well,
I look at some of the shoes I used to wear. I used to be able to run in them, drive in them, heels like this, right? And they do not appeal to me anymore. Do you remember that? Where do we go out for we went out for my birthday, didn't we? And I had some they weren't even high. They were like semi-high heels, but they were mules, right? So they were like gripping the front of my foot. And I wore them, and I got to yours and I went, I've made a terrible mistake. But fortunately, I've got some flats in the back of the car, and I've binned those heels because there's no way I'm ever going to wear them again. No, why would we do that? They hurt. I think everyone's feet have got a little bit flatter during lockdown from wearing no shoes.
Seriously considering Crocs.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm because they're in with the kids again now. Kids are into Crocs.
My eldest has got them. Yeah,
they're supposed to be really comfortable.
They're allowed to wear them at school because it's a cool school. Yeah, but you have to wear them in sports mode, which means having the strap at the back.
I'm tempted
Sports
to get
mode.
some
What sport are you wearing
sports
them
mode.
for?
In terms of taking time off, Katifer says, how very dare you take holiday. Debbie says, heartbroken, what would I do? You'd get a life. All of you get a life. I'm joking. And Robert says, I'd be fine. I'd listen to gold that Catherine sends out from the archive. Definitely taking a week off. Maybe 1 week. Maybe 1 week, and then we'll take 2 off over Christmas. Sofa Bum says, the moment I know I'm not leaving the house again, that day, PJs are on. That's the vibe I'm getting into. That is the vibe. But when I had my last client, I went, right, having a shower, PJs. Beautiful. Been sat in the living room, listening to a really crap Beach Boys album and reading about them in the 80s. Love it. That's living. That's living. Tomorrow, Three Counties Radio doing a thing about my mum's care home. I kind of messaged one of the people there to say, I'm really good you're doing it. I think it's great and this is an outrage. Hoping they'd say, oh, why don't you come on? But no such invitation was forthcoming. Oh, it ain't going to change anything, It ain't going to change anything. Good evening, Emmy. We've been waiting. Now we can begin. So that's where we are. We're off to see Ruby Wax tomorrow, doing a little shows, which will be good. Saturday, I'm off to see my youngest play rugby. He's in the C team. But going to have a little bit of that. My eldest said, Daddy, can you recommend a projector for under £100? I said, why? He wants to have it in his room, wants to connect it to his phone in his room and project stuff on the wall. And I said, I've got a really nice, expensive projector that someone sent me a few years ago. It's very, very generous of them. It's a big old industrial thing. And I said, you can borrow that, but I think it's going to be too big for your room. Well, let's talk about that in a second. I said, you can borrow that. It's going to be too big for your room, I think. But I've tested it and it will work on his wall, but you can't. It's an HDMI. And while you can get a USB-C to HDMI, I tried it and it didn't work with my phone. So we're going to try it with his phone, and if not, then we'll get something cheaper. I had one of those.
They're not very good, but my eldest has got a very small room, so she watched Titanic on it with her friends.
Yeah,
and I think most of it was just the novelty of having a projector, to be honest.
Well, like I say, I watched E.T. on the worst pirated Betamax video you could imagine, so I don't think kids give a toss. But so I'm going to try this. I keep saying to him, I don't think this one's going to work. Oh, can I try it? Okay, you can try it. And if that doesn't work, then we'll get a cheaper projector. But
they've all gone up in price though. I think that cost me about 27 quid. They're like 50 quid now.
Yeah. Isn't it though? I've started watching a show, one episode in, that was recommended by Rhythmic Paul Filbert. Is he called Filbert because of the Philharmonic Orchestra and the Royal Albert Hall? Is that where he gets his name from?
No, I think it was his father's surname.
So Paul Philharmonic Royal Albert Hall is his full name. Sir, he's a Sir now, isn't he? Sir Paul Royal Sir Paul Royal Philharmonic Royal Albert Hall.
But
recommended a show in the Discord. Called, it's Korean. He said it's the next Squid Game. I'll be the judge of that, Lord Sir Paul. And it's called Moving. And so far, Jim, are you live? Someone tell Jim to click live. And so far, episode 1, yeah, I'm liking it. I'm really liking it.
Is it violent?
No. Well, actually, no, there is a very violent scene in it. So I'm going to change that answer if I can to yes.
To yes.
It's reminiscent. It's very reminiscent of Heroes, which made me think about Heroes, the TV series, which I never finished the first season. The first season was brilliant, and then season 2 and 3 were awful, apparently, which is what made me then look up Lost box sets on. This is where my mind goes. It's really good, actually. It's about these some people,
Oh God, bad people, is it?
some of whom have superhuman powers,
All right.
but they have to keep it under their hat.
Why are they wearing hats?
And then there's a guy who looks like Mackenzie. He acts like there's a guy who acts like Mackenzie.
Yeah.
Seems his job is to kill these people. So I'm enjoying that. So I will keep you informed on that. You're right, Catherine. What's wrong with you?
It's the revelation. Seems his job is to
Kill these people. Then I started watching. So, did you ever watch The Morning Show with Steve
No.
Carell,
No.
Jennifer Aniston,
No,
and the
I
lady with the eyes?
No.
The first season was brilliant. It was the Me Too movement done in television drama. It was powerful.
Mate, I've lived it. I don't need to watch it.
Are you asleep? Are you doing that so you can be asleep? Is this Weekend at Bernie's? Oh, did you see the guy that wrote Weekend at Bernie's died?
Did he though?
Well, this is it. Everyone's going, who's going to do the joke? Who's going to do the joke? Then everyone did. So the first season of The Morning Show, it was Me Too in drama form for television. It was a daytime mid-morning show similar to This Morning, hosted by Jennifer Aniston and Steve Carell. Very loved on-air television couple. Then it turned out he was accused of inappropriate sexual behaviour
With a young runner.
with several people.
Right.
And it was thoroughly unpleasant, but an incredible drama. And then the girl with the eyes, she was sort of being seen as his replacement, but she was like a young buck from a local It was really good. Martin Short was in it as this incredibly creepy director. It was great. It was great. Then season 2 came along. Reese Witherspoon. It was awful. It was awful. Season 2, I can spoil it. Steve Carell killed himself with a smile on his face. He realized everything. He realized everything he did was wrong, and he was at peace with that. So he drove his car off a cliff. Right.
Oh.
Therefore, killing the basic premise of what the show had been. It was Me Too. So then season 2, it was all about the COVID, and it featured one of the most cringy episodes I've ever seen in my life. It was Jennifer Aniston at home with her producer. She had COVID, doing a live broadcast. I have COVID. And I don't know if I'm going to live or die. But I want you to be here with me on... It was flipping awful, right? It was awful.
And who is this? Jennifer Aniston doing this?
Yeah, it was awful.
All right, so evidence that she's never had it.
It was awful. Then I started season 3. Please don't spoil in the chat if you season 3. Please don't spoil it. And I'm not going to spoil it.
What could it be?
I'm going to Right. I watched the first half of the first episode. I went, nah, mate. See if you can guess, Catherine, right? First TV show, first one, it's Me Too. Second one, it's COVID. The third one,
Yeah.
they are clearly heading towards something so ridiculous. They mention it. I went, okay, that's interesting. Oh, this is what the whole thing is going to be about? You're aiming for that? It's like I'd gone to your youngest and my youngest and said, guys, I'm in a real bit of trouble. I'm writing season 3 of this show. I've got no idea what to do with it, how to make it interesting. What do you think the main character should do?
Get addicted to Roblox.
No. So that's the kid's first idea. So right,
Yeah.
the main character has to do something that's going to catch people's imaginations. 11, 12-year-old kids, what do you think she should do? I have a couple of guesses and I'll send you a text.
She could.
I just got your message.
Yeah, didn't make sense, doesn't it? What could happen?
So it's talking about jumping the shark.
Okay. She decides that she wants to enter a convent.
You're going the wrong way.
Oh, she decides that she wants. Oh, is she OnlyFans?
I'm going to send you a message. Don't spoil it, anyone in the chat who knows. because I know there are a few people are going to be watching. Catherine's just read it. Please don't spoil it in the chat if you know. Please don't.
Of course she is. Of course.
And I got
It's the obvious choice.
I got so there's the two main plots are something like a corporate takeover of this TV station. There's not a spoiler. That's kind of a carryover from before. And what I've just sent you, Catherine. And I got half an hour in. I went,
Yeah.
nah, mate. I sat through the entire season 2 hoping it would pick up, and it didn't. I've given you a chance. I'm out.
Are they
Good luck.
holding the writers hostage? And they have been for years, and they're not allowed to leave. It's like they have to spin the straw into gold, right? Except there's not very much straw left, and there's not very much gold left in their magic fingers. So they're really stretching it out.
What made it interesting, and season 1 is absolutely brilliant. I thoroughly recommend it. What made it interesting was, it's about female empowerment and independence, and Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston are great. What made that series, though, was the relationship with Steve Carell, the abuser. That's what made it. That was the tension. Now there's no tension apart from...
It's just sisters are doing it for themselves.
Honestly, again, please don't spoil it in the chat. Because I know a few people are gonna. I was texting David Turner's, and I said, I'm not going to tell you anything, but this is horseshit. And 26 minutes in, I'm out. Let me know what you think when you've seen it. So that's that. Disappointing. But this this Korean thing, I'm totally up for that. I'm also quite possibly tomorrow going to do another little, certainly over the weekend. I enjoyed my little retro gaming stream. So I think I'm going to do another one over the weekend of maybe watching some old, like early 80s BBC micro TV programs with Fred Harris. I found Fred Harris. He's declined to be interviewed, which is a shame, but there we go. So I might do that. And I was supposed to record the first podcast on Monday with Scott about Minder, but I can't do it now, actually. So probably a week Monday, we're going to record it. We'll stream it live, and then we'll put it out as a podcast. That's the plan. Looking forward to it. I'm starting to get... and I'm not going to do too many. I'm going to do it at my own pace. I'm not going to do one a week. One a month I'd be happy with. Do it at my own pace. Nice and interesting. Nice and slowly. And do it while it's fun to do. But I did enjoy that stream the other day, so I might have a little bit of that.
Good.
Saturday night, we're having a succulent Chinese meal. I am eating, so the last 2 weeks, I've been eating so much better. I have
Same.
low-fat yogurt and strawberries for breakfast. Lunch will quite often consist of, I don't know, maybe a jacket potato, maybe a little bit of whole grain rice with some tuna, some soy sauce, some spring onions in there, a bit of broccoli, and then tea. I might have a little bit of soup. I had a nice little chicken stir fry today, a little bit of soup. Yes, I did on Wednesday. Because was it Wednesday? It was probably Wednesday because I was feeling lousy. I did have a McDonald's. However, I only had one McDonald's, which is new. Having a Chinese on Saturday night. My eating, though, I'm feeling better. My bowels are so much clearer. And I feel slimmer, but I've not lost any weight, but I feel slimmer. So I'm really... Turners, we were just talking about the morning show. So I'm feeling a whole lot better with this eating thing. I need to do a bit... I would like to do a bit more exercise. I'm choosing not to at the moment. I'd like to go for a few more walks, doing 100 press-ups a day, but with my knees on the floor, so I'm cheating a bit. So...
press-ups. Half a press-up is still better than no press-ups.
Better than no press-up. David Turner's just joined us. David, I texted Catherine the premise of season 3 of The Morning Show.
I mean, really?
Don't worry. You can listen to the whole show back it's literally 10 minutes ago if you want to go back. It is, I have not mentioned it on stream, and everyone in the chat has respected and not mentioned it either. Honestly, I cannot wait for you to see it. I cannot wait. Visionary says, not cheating, soft start to push-ups. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I can't see.
I am using 3 flights of stairs to go up to my classroom every day, normally at least 4 times. I will go up and down those stairs.
What's interesting is there's only 2 stories in the building. I'm just being a little bit silly. It's a little bit fun. Ignore
and I've been
me.
eating.
Ignore me.
I've been packing a salad to eat.
Is that a euphemism?
No.
Good.
And look at how lovely my skin is.
Hairy salad.
Hairy salad? That's not a thing, weirdo.
What?
Do you remember we used to go past that shop that was called Crazy Salad?
Oh yeah, and we'd say,
How crazy can it be?
yes, a crazy salad is one that's covered in shit. Alphonse and Giles says, cycle like Jeremy Vine. He's in good shape. What is it with
Did
Jeremy
you see what
Vine?
happened to Jeremy Vine yesterday?
Well, it happens.
He nearly got
every
crushed
day.
by a reversing van.
No, because he deliberately sped up to get near it and then stopped behind it instead of carrying on. Jeremy Vine nearly killed Jeremy Vine.
As he's going towards it, he sees it going down the wrong way. Oh, no, no, no.
Oh, did you see the video? So let me find the video of the video that someone's done of Jeremy Vine's best moments.
I haven't seen that, but I did see him banging on the back of the van to try and get him to reverse his tiny bicycle.
He is the unluckiest person in the world. Let me try and find this. I found a clip that.
Jeremy Vine doing fine despite the odds.
Does anyone know the clip I'm? Let me just look. If I just look for Jeremy Vine, but here's the utmost.
Look at this. This is Littleton's perfume. Do you know what it is? It's Katy Perry's Meow. What I call my perfume, my Meow.
Let me just find this clip. It is worth.
Smells like you think it would.
It's from an hour ago. God, I've got to scroll through. He gets tweeted about a lot. This guy's popular, right?
He's got his knockers.
He bought us dinner in a very fancy restaurant once, but I do think I like Jeremy a lot. In fact, we wouldn't have got the Twitch gig if it hadn't been for him tweeting about it. He's been so generous to me, so kind to me. So I'm not going to say any more.
No.
Let me find this video because it's.
But we're about to laugh at him repeatedly cheating death, are we?
It's such a good video. Hold the line, please, caller. Honestly. Oh.
Hold the line.
He went through a red light in that video.
Been followed by Paul McCartney.
Oh.
At Paul McCart 8418.
So that's the real one.
Real one. Paul McCartney got back. Official Paul McCartney account administered by NPL. Eyes of the Storm. And I can text him. His number is actually here.
Oh, we'll give him we'll give him a call tomorrow. Oh, does anyone know the video?
687 following. Let's see who he's following. He's following Regina and Cindy and Dorothy and Angela, Teresa and Marion, Kathleen and Candy. He's following Melina, Tatiana, Mary Alice. He's following Alexandra and Jackie and Mara. Can you see what he's doing?
He's following the good times. He's following the good times. And that's
a little bit of Tatiana in the sun.
And that's progress, because I was going to say a rude word.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not even going to tell you what the rude word was.
Reductive as well. Reductive.
Does anyone know the Jeremy Vine video I'm talking about? Someone's compiled his best bits. Does anyone know the one to which I refer? No one does. No one does. I'm just going to keep scrolling. Keep on scrolling.
What a day. I'm going to tweet about this.
Where is it? God, there's so many tweets about him. I may not even have typed in. Does anyone know the thing I'm looking for? It was doing the round. I saw because Twitter's so wild. It was there today, and it was someone had compiled like his best moments